All right, good afternoon. Okay, it's good to be back to us. It's been a while I did live video, so it's good to be back here this afternoon. Let's see who joins. Let's see who comes on first. Then we can start having a very quick conversation. Bella session, you're the one joining yourself. All right. I had a conversation with a couple to be yesterday, and I think I need to run over that quickly. That's why I'm here this afternoon. Just a quick one. All right. Yes, I had a conversation with them about emotional intelligence, especially for believers and Christians who get married and who sometimes don't even get it right. And that's a big concern anywhere in the world, that we can't get it right when it comes to the question of emotional intelligence. Because absolutely you can be born again and mess things up for yourself. And that's what the Bible says, that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because knowledge itself is the currency on which we operate our lives. Just like you need money to have a personal economy, or money to have a national economy or any kind of economy. Knowledge is the currency of our life, the currency of our decisions, choices, and all of that. So when you deal with the subject of emotional intelligence, you're actually dealing with the currency of your experience. You're dealing with the currency of how you make things happen for yourself. And this is more so when you get married to someone, and that's a big deal. Someone you have to live with for the rest of your lives, or even if you choose not to live with them for the rest of your life, you're going to make that experience a mess or something great. So the subject of emotional intelligence is something I often expect a lot of people to work on or to pay attention to. Alright, let me quickly read a few things based on the conversation I had with a couple that yesterday evening. Marriage cannot be sustained without consciously working on our ability to be or remain emotionally intelligent, and that's absolutely true. Emotional intelligence begins with the humility to know that we are capable of destroying even the best relationship if we let our reactions flow without putting it under control. So if you look at it critically, emotional intelligence has a lot to do with your ability to keep your emotions in check and to have your emotions under your control and never coming under the control of your emotions, as it were, because when that happens, you stand a chance to mess up a lot of things. Number one, so first thing first is to pray to God about your emotions. A lot of people don't know that this is what you need to do first. Ask God to give you grace to take charge of your responses when you are emotional. And we are very often emotional. You need grace to be able to take charge of your responses when you're emotional. And you need to pray ahead when it comes to this matter. It's not something you wait until. I often say to people, you don't prepare for battle on the battlefield. You prepare for battle before the day of battle. Number two is ask God to give you the right understanding of the place of your partner and to value them above your emotion, especially at times of severe emotional trial. Now, this is something that often defeats a lot of relationships. People get emotional and forget the place and the value that they ought to place on their partner. So they react in ways that undermine the value they ought to place on their partner. There's a way you place value on a person and you realize that even at the height of your emotion, you don't react in certain ways. So that the value you place on them determines or redefines how you react, even in circumstances that are not emotionally okay, or where the situation is not so balanced. You look at the value you place on them. I'll give you a simple example. It's just like when someone elderly to you or older than you offends you, and you really want to have an outburst, but you just realize or remember that they are elderly or they are old, you come under check. So at that moment, the value you place on your partner actually regulates how you respond to them in the moment of crisis. So not in all cases would this have to do with them offending you, but in all cases where your emotion is on trial or pressured, how to handle and value them when you are broke, pressured at work, tempted, and tried. So that every time your emotion comes under attack, you need to remember that the value you place on your partner will define how you react to them. So that, a lot of people just get broke and they begin to mess up in relationships, or they had a bad day in the office and they begin to mess up in relationship. No, emotional intelligence will teach you to handle your partner right, even when many things are coming against your emotion. The third thing I think you should do to deal with issues of emotional intelligence is to take steps to read books, hear messages, and indulge in material that improve your emotional responses to your partner and help you handle them rightly. For example, I'll give you an example of books that can help you grow when it comes to emotional control. 5 Love Languages will teach you how to respond to your partner, how to handle your partner, how to recognize how they appreciate to be loved. 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. Love is a Verb by Gary Chapman. Spirit Controlled Family by Tim and Beverly LaHaye. A Party for Two by Tim and Beverly LaHaye. There are lots of books out there, Christian books or books by people who fear the Lord and who give you balanced perspective as to the handling of your emotion and to living a wholesome and complete life when it comes to your responses to life and to your partner. Number 4, begin to expand your capacity to be irritated but calm and not manifest it. This one is, you need to really, really think about this. You need to begin to rehearse emotional control where you are irritated or upset. And that's going to happen every day of your life. You are going to have to rehearse this every single day of your life. You are going to have to use conventional or non-conventional methods to train in this. You need to be in that place where you learn to just be upset but under control. You need to learn to be angry but sin not, and this is going to come from practice. Look at your neighbors, look at your colleagues, look at your friends. Practice with them when they offend you, when they are irritating to you. Learn to hold your tongue, learn to respond with calm, learn to pray about it. That's how you train yourself. If not in marriage, let me tell you the truth. Your partner, your spouse will offend you big time. Your spouse is going to be irritating to you sometimes. Even without a word spoken, that's going to happen a lot. I'm sorry, I wish I could promise you otherwise, but this is going to happen. You're just going to wake up sometime and wish you had your space, and you don't have your space, and you're going to have to live with them happily. You need to be able to craft your joys from inside and not just based on how you feel. So I wrote to them yesterday, you will need loads of this. You are going to be in the room with your partner many times, and all you want to do is reverse the order and be single and free. You will not be single and free, you'll be married. Do you follow? Well, too late, deal with it. You are married. So this is where emotional intelligence also comes in, to say to you, look, it doesn't matter how I feel right now. What's important is how I handle my partner or how I handle the relationship. All right, some other point. Emotional intelligence is learning to condition your partner to respond in the way you want them to respond and not forcing it on them. These were 5 Love Languages and some other great books that I referred to earlier will come in, where you learn to see the value in people or your partner, where you learn, to take charge of your emotion, to take charge, to learn how to turn them in their joy mood and not, you need to appreciate and learn your partner. It's understanding how to make life peaceful, happy, and joyful with and for them. That's very important. You need to take note of all of that. It is learning them and taking advantage of what you learn to create the best home you can. These are very important points you need to know. Number 6, it is learning to know their off or tripping moments. Some people don't even learn to know when their partner is not at their best. This is one thing that emotional intelligence does for you. It makes you learn to know, when your partner is at their best emotion, when your partner needs, some kind of response from you. It's very important you know this. If you don't know this, you are going to always step on them when you don't need to. You need to know when to manage them. You need to know when to really enjoy them. You need to know when to restore them. These are issues of emotional intelligence and being discerning in how you approach them. Sometimes you are going to feel like you're on your rights and powers, but the only alternative to war will be emotional intelligence. That's the truth. Keep quiet or play the peace card or something. You need to observe them, you need to learn them, you need to understand them. It is the humility, grace, and might to pursue peace at all times. That's what emotional intelligence will mean at such a time. Sometimes it will be apologizing for no wrong of yours. That's the truth. You see, you are not ready to get married if you don't appreciate these things or learn these things. It's emotional intelligence to do that. In other cases, it will be going out of your way to do anything required to keep the peace or to have them restored. These are very important things. At other times, it would be greeting first when you expect to be greeted, or when you expect to be right, be mad. No, 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 no. Don't prolong a fight that you can end with one or two actions. Alright, let me take the last point now and cap up on this video this afternoon. It is learning about what they value and valuing the same thing. It is understanding how they hold their family, things, life, their career, their job, and helping them hold it in the same value. Some people just spend their whole life fighting their partner all the time. Everything their partner says, they oppose it. That's not emotionally intelligent. I want peace in my home. As far as what my partner or my wife wants is not sinful, I owe her a duty to become a part of it. I owe her a duty to appreciate what she appreciates. I owe her a duty to love what she loves. I owe her a duty, that's what emotional intelligence is.